need to score anymore,
No. Rubio 12 assists off the bench, 4 steals too.
I think we're
live.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? You are tuned in to the post-game pulse. Number 3, it's a Cavs 124-89 victory. 89, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't even know the score. It was such a
weird
blowout.
game.
Terrible game. Great game for Cavs fans. Terrible games for Rocket fans. Logan, you have a good point. Hold on. Before we start, we appreciate, if you're watching this in the replay, we appreciate everybody who watched Cavs Encapsulated episode 8.
Yeah,
hell of views in the first 24
interaction.
hours. A lot of comments. We really appreciate it. This Cavs team is getting people excited. We agree with a lot of the sentiments. And for Rockets fans, I mean, you guys are young. If you happen to be a Rockets fan, just give it 3 or 4 years. Took this Cavs team at least 4 years. You guys had 4 first-round draft picks this year, so not all is lost. But Logan, how are you doing? And kick it off for us.
Doing good, guys. Cavaliers moved to 18-12. Let's not even joke. I mean, they missed a whole starting lineup.
Yep.
The Rockets did. But this is the way I see it. At the end of the day, 10 guys go on the court, right? And our 5 guys were always thoroughly better than them. Did they have more talent? Absolutely. Let's not act like they didn't. But at the end of the day, these are 10 grown men, right? Professional basketball players playing a game at the end of the day. The Rockets starting lineup looked like a G League lineup in a lot of ways. Honestly, didn't realize DJ Augustine was still in the league until tonight.
Swear.
But no, I mean, they had some good production off their bench. They had a couple of young guys do okay. But yeah, when you look at it down the line, Christian Wood, Kevin Porter Jr., Jalen Green, Eric Gordon, Danwell House Jr. I mean, just all kinds of guys, that didn't play for the Rockets. But Cavaliers, I think what I liked about this game, they got ahead by as many as 40. No one had any particularly great day outside of Isaac Okoro with 20. Garland did as usual. Jared Allen didn't even crack 10 tonight. Love 15. Rubio 12 assists off the bench. I mean, certainly some good numbers, but nothing that's eye-popping that would make you think they were ahead by as many as 40 tonight against the Rockets.
Yeah, and you talk about Isaac Okoro dropping 20. It's kind of like that sentiment that Jeff was talking about in our last Cavs Encapsulated about how, we're not playing any great teams as of right now. The teams that he's played very well offensively against hasn't had to do or focus too much on the defensive end. But, I think a point that I wanted to make about Isaac Okoro, and this just goes with his offensive efficiency as of right now, in terms of what he does, his spot up shooting now is getting better, which is, I don't want to see him put the ball on the court really too often on the offensive side of the court. He cuts really well. He hustles, full court to, each end. I think that's really good for him. And hopefully, going on to this Bucks game, he'll be able to continue to do that and hopefully guard a guy like Chris Middleton and maybe be able to still give us that kind of efficiency.
I think that the theme has kind of held true tonight. I don't think that he was guarding anybody who was particularly talented and skilled on the offensive side of the ball. I think that allows him really to get into his groove. You got Spencer in the chat. You're live. Appreciate that. Sometimes it's tough figuring it out, but an all around, it's just so crazy that the complete 180 of last year, where this was never on the table. I did not expect this year to be sitting down and being like, okay, this is pretty normal. We had a 30-point lead at halftime. We've been leading on this 5-game winning streak at half. I'm pretty sure we've been leading by at least 9 points or more at halftime in every one of these games. We're getting out to big leads, and we're really not looking back. I think you see some stumbles in the third quarter of some of these games, specifically maybe like 4 or 5 minutes left in the third quarter. Logan makes a good point, though, and Justin as well. Not a huge – Okoro with 20 or Garland with 21 and Okoro with 20. Jared Allen not really that involved on the offensive side of the ball. I don't even think we had our patented lob this game, and we still put up 124 points, which I believe is a season high.
Is it? It might be, actually.
I think it might be.
I'm thinking about it, possibly. I mean, 89 is a good number to hold them to. I know that, they're, again, down literally all their scoring options, but at the end of the day, holding a team to sub 90 at any level is always a great thing to see. It does worry me a little bit, and I wonder. I'd like to hear what everybody thinks in the live chat if we have some people listening in. Do we think that these 5 last games, playing five teams that were down a lot of guys, is it going to hurt us going into a game like Milwaukee, game like Atlanta, or do you think that this team is just kind of different and knows how to focus in for those big games? That's kind of the question that I'd like to propose.
Justin, you were talking about that before we went live, correct?
Yeah, I was talking more in the sense of that we get a nice little break before that Bucks game. Saturday, get a 3-day break, so 3 days to prep for a very good team that is currently, I believe, Jeff and I were talking, has COVID problems. Was Giannis one of those players, Jeff?
Yeah, out tonight, I believe.
Yeah, so again, that's
likely out that game, right? Usually isn't a 10-day rule or something.
Well, if it works the way it worked for us, then yeah, that dude's
got royally screwed by it.
We'll get lucky again.
LeBron's the only one that shimmied his way out of that. He was ready to play.
Jeff and Logan will get lucky, and probably the Cavs will win that game and go up in our predictions and everything. We started the tally. Jeff's got it going on everything. I'm salty already because another day where we go and we predict these things, and I come back in an hour after Giannis out for our game, has COVID. But honestly, Logan, it's tough because I think the Hawks game is now the one that you look to if this Bucks game is, if it has the issues that it does with Giannis being out, because obviously he's a star MVP. Chris Middleton will still provide, points and everything, but I think that would be a game where before you guys had it predicted as a win and I had it predicted as a loss, I think that one just comes out to a win in that scenario. So I think the Hawks game is going to be the one to look forward to before we meet back up.
Yeah, let's do some looking ahead because I'm sure there's people with great points out there. Let's hit the chat real quick. Our sole moderator, Fulam1, who needs Mobley? We're Studley. I'm kidding. I love Mobley. Please get healthy ASAP, sir. I was texting before the game. I said, probably a good night to rest, playing Milwaukee on Saturday, regardless of who they're playing. I'll take a rest night. We actually have the luxury, as Tom K has brought up right after that, with Dean Wade being a spot starter. We have the luxury of, what do they call it? Load management. we actually have that luxury. Yeah. Mobley's a little banged up. Garland's a little banged up. Jarrett might not be 100%. You could send, a different starting 5 out there against teams that are not very good. Houston Rockets, who they were playing good basketball with all their guys out. I think it's kind of unlucky that we've done these like 3 weeks in a row, and every game the other team has been depleted with injuries, but it's fine either way. Dean Wade looked like he never missed a beat. Aimless Phantasm, Okoro dunk of the century at Logan. I don't know if you saw that.
I didn't get a chance, guys. Dude, I've been driving around.
3 rockets into the rim.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah. Nice dunk. Got to go check the highlights.
What'd you guys see from Okoro tonight? I didn't get a chance to look quite yet. I know it's kind of ridiculous that I'm going on a Cavs podcast without any,
any notes. We value your opinion.
I always look at it after the game, especially if I miss it. But what'd you guys see from Okoro tonight? Because obviously that was one of my big points. I want to see. I think one of my goals for him was in the next 3. I want 2 double-digit scoring performances, and clearly he outdid that today.
Justin describes Okoro perfectly.
Oh, I mean, Jeff, I already spoke on it, but he just comes at the rim. It's the one thing he does really well is attacking the rim, kind of just that aggressive nature that he has on defense, transferring over to offense. And I think he's been known for having really good slams. Like, I don't think he's a dunk contest candidate, but he's like aggressive. Like it's almost like Shaq, like trying to break the rim on one of these, but it's pretty spectacular. But overall, let Jeff talk about how his game was tonight. I thought
Please do, yeah.
It was very well.
He's really simple though, and let's not overthink it. Outside of my advanced theories that when he's not guarding a fringe star player, I think he plays better offensively, which hopefully we see some more evidence of that in the future. But he's really not that. His game is very simple.
So simple.
Shoot corner threes, second, and drive and be a slasher and be athletic around the rim first. We see it all the time. I think this game was I was responding to some people in the comments of our last video. I was telling people, drive to the rim and your 3-point shots will come open. Garland's going to find you. We have bigs who could pass very well. He's taking what the defense gives him, and he's just having his way out there. It is great to see. A real Bandier. What's up about my guy Sengun, my ROTY
Sengun.
candidate? Passing like Steve Nash, post game like Hakeem. Whoa, he's 19.
Whoa.
Let's pump the brakes. Here's my thing about Sengun.
Go ahead.
Because Logan, see, this is why we bring you on, because you actually like knew who this guy was before
the other day.
Because I forgot the Rockets had 4 first-round draft picks and they're all 19 years old. But like I said, just give it 3 or 4 years. You guys are going to be fine. The West is tough, but he was the only guy like trying at the end there. Even when we were up like 30 and 40, he was still like trying to work on his post moves. That's what I saw from the Rockets down the stretch.
I do, especially when you're getting your butt kicked and everyone else is down on themselves, for you to try to better yourself, especially as a young 19-year-old trying to find minutes in that lineup. I think that says a lot to the coaching staff. I know this is a Cavs podcast, but I can always appreciate something like that, especially the name Alfred Şengün. No one expected much, obviously, right? I mean, people were saying, who, before the season.
He does have good post moves at 19.
But he ain't bad. He ain't half bad. And, that's a nice young piece. It's kind of like, in a way, like maybe their version of like Chetty, where like no one knows who he is, but he actually has good basketball ability and could be a young piece for you off your bench for energy, or I don't know if he'll get to be a starter at one day, but again, it's one of those things you got to appreciate a 19-year-old that wants to show their winning mentality.
Yeah, dude, he was, and I'm not calling Ed Davis a 4 or 5-star defender in the league, but Ed Davis had some impressive defensive plays in the first half, and then there were some plays where Şengün kind of had him in a spin cycle. So looks like a good young player, a fellow Turk. I think he's from Turkey, like Chetty. So interesting, good comparison, Logan, per the usual. Tom K. Okoro was bowling Rockets. That's what's interesting to me too, because what I did not expect, not following Lowry. I'm gonna start saying his name right. Lowry, like Kyle Lowry. Lowry Markkanen's game in Chicago. I didn't know that he could drive to the rim and slam the ball. So if Okoro could establish that 3-pointer, kind of how Lowry has so far, they're both liable to pump fake, go around you, and slam.
For sure.
So that's been really good to see, the aggressiveness, and I think Okoro needs to keep that up.
I think it's really nice to just see when we have games like this. I think the big thing for me is just like J.B. Bickerstaff knowing the right rotations, having the situation of not having Evan Mobley tonight, and he brings Dean Wade back for the first time in, for a while, coming back from the G League and everything, the G League team for the Cavs, and to get him back into the rotation, he makes him play the most minutes out of everyone. He plays the team high 34 minutes, has 16 points, 10 rebounds, has a nice double-double, but also getting our guys out of that game early because he knows he's got a tough matchup next Saturday, against the Bucks. So I'm just really happy that, Bickerstaff, he's not allowing guys like Garland and Allen to stat chase, which – a guy like me, I love talking about Garland, but I know that I also want to see the longevity of success continue for this Cavs team and for those players. So I'm really happy that, he's kind of matured in the same way that the team overall has matured.
Totally agree. Good maturity from everybody. I think everybody's bought in. I think that if you have to make a team comment, this team is bought in to J.B. at Bickerstaff, and it's so hard to do. Something we just haven't seen. That's not a knock on JB.
No, I'm not even laughing at you, Jeff. I'm looking at the chat. I'm getting down
there. Well, let me make my way down there. I'm taking my time. If we seem low energy, Mike makes a good point here about finals. Logan's working 19 hours a day. Me and Justin are trying to get out of education, and then we just beat the Rockets by 40 in December. So I'm going to bed as soon as this, concludes. Which
Jeff and I have been going back and forth about Browns, COVID, and
the Browns
still having
take
to play
so
games
much
Saturday.
Energy out of my life.
Oh, I'm sure.
Listen, just remember, people, Saturday, Cleveland fans, remember there is a Browns game, but after that, there is another Cavs game.
Yes.
So
flex the Cavs to Christmas Day, so I don't have to watch the Browns. But buying into JB Bickerstaff, we haven't seen it in Cleveland because 100% of the time, all the rosters the last 2 decades were buying into LeBron James. So, I'll give Ty Lue his credit for that championship season. David Blatt, 50-50. And then guy from Michigan. Beeline.
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 Please don't talk about him anymore.
No, yeah, okay. Give Kobe Altman his flowers. Benjamin B. I don't even know what his name was.
How much are we still paying him?
5 years, 125 million. All right, back to chat. From college. Stop hiring college coaches just around the board. Urban Meyer. Okoro, 20 points, 3 from 3. Taking what the defense is giving him.
He was 3
Ashby,
for 3 from
Lincoln.
3. Is that what they said?
Yeah,
Yep.
3 for 3 for
Yep.
3.
He's really shooting that ball well.
All
guys.
corner
He's
threes
out.
too. Same spot. Might be on like inverted sides of the court, but same spot. Robert, good pal of the show. Does Jeff still want to trade Okoro? Listen up. I'm not doing these recency bias hot takes.
I'm glad they're calling your ass out.
I want to see him shut down Devin Booker for like 8 or 9 points and score 20. That's what I really want to see.
To ask out of anybody.
Oh, get out of here. I heard he's a 5th overall pick. He's fine. Or not like, all right, if he holds Devin Booker to like 8 and he only scores 8, dub. But
Right.
if somebody calls, if somebody picks up the phone, it's like, it's so far away though. You really don't know how, and sounds like a cop-out for me because I am an Isaac Okoro doubter. I will say that I have doubted Isaac Okoro in the past, but I'm doing it the correct way. I'll doubt, and then hopefully I'm surprised. If I say someone's going to be really good and they suck, then I look like a clown.
That's true.
But
that's true.
like Okoro
Just been
on
tested
KD,
been tested over time.
But like Okoro on Kevin Durant in like May, I don't know, man. But I mean, who you're going to trade? Who's better? But
right.
Justin,
I don't even know you're not gonna get. We got Dean Wade to cover Katie. Remember,
Dean Wade.
He did good against them.
I know he did okay, but I'm
well.
okay. But when it's May, when it's Kevin Durant in
Dude, that's what
May,
I'm
right
saying.
now,
That's
if it was
different.
right now, Kevin Durant dropping
a regular
50s,
season Kevin Durant, sure, maybe you get lucky, but that's a different story in the playoffs.
I think the problem is Jeff definitely, he's got Colin Sexton where I think, he's probably won that battle now with everyone. I don't know that there's
just
a lot of
so big.
I just don't know that there's a lot of, arguing for the Colin Sexton thing right now. Isaac Okoro coming around, so Jeff's got a little bit of teetering to do there, but we got to have these takes every now and then. That's why I love Jeff on our football stuff because we have the complete opposite stance on a Baker Mayfield, and he's also we came in with favorite free agent signings and such, and we've both been humbled on that side of the spectrum too. So it's just something that you gotta have something to talk about. And I think it's been very nice to be wrong about Okoro because me and Jeff were both a part of that, doubt in the beginning.
And there's still a lot of growth for Okoro. Don't get me wrong. This is a 5-game stint right now where he's playing good basketball.
Second-year player.
But it is a good 5-game stint, and that's a pretty good, healthy portion size to really see what he's made of. And I think he's doing a better job of, like I said in the last podcast, I think him just throwing up some more threes, whether they're going in or not at the time, was good for his confidence. And now he's starting to put it all together. I see you smiling, Jeff. What we got in the chat?
Dude, it's just so goofy in the chat tonight. I'm loving it because if there was nobody in the chat, we would have been done about 20 minutes ago. But if the chat's live, I'm
Absolutely.
live. So at the end of the day, I know people like the lives. It's quick interaction. People love the videos too. If you're not a subscriber, drop a subscribe. We don't have notifications because I'm a nerd and Justin's laughing so
I'm looking
deeply.
at Mike.
But if you subscribe, say in the chat, I subscribe. If you like, say I like. I'll just be like, thank you. But here's my thing with takes before I get to the chat really quickly. I'll give a real harsh take. And if people know me, this is exactly how I've operated basically my whole adult life. I'll give a really harsh take, then I'll start working back to the middle. But I don't like the when people give evidence about a take that even if they were right about the take, they cite evidence that is non-correlative, if that's a word, because people are saying, oh, he showed promise last year. Okoro, how many 15 games in the last month of the season when nobody's playing and he's the only one driving to the rim and no one's defending him. He scored 18 a game. Like, congrats. Similar with the evidence for Colin Sexton when he scores 8 points in the first half. We're down 40 in the second half, kind of like the Rockets were tonight, and he ends up with 24. Like, it's whatever, though. JB lives right down the road. Fulham won, totally doxing himself live. I may go give him props for the big margin win tonight. Oh, baby. Sounds like maybe had some.
Get JB on the Cleveland Pulse podcast, Mike. What can you pull off?
Where? We can get Mike on the Cleveland Pulse. JB, I don't know. He's busy. Tom K talking about Dean Wade. Dean Wade seems like there should be more minutes for him. Kind of agree. The rotation, I
yeah.
think, it's tough to doubt JB
8th, 9th
Bickerstaff
man.
with minutes. Yeah, he could start though. He could hit
start
threes.
at points, yeah, depending on the matchup for sure.
Ed Davis is the key piece of evidence for people buying in, because I saw multiple Ed Davis blocks tonight, and it's like he didn't play since December 3rd. So
Right.
I think they're practicing extremely well. I have no evidence to back that up, but Justin, Ed Davis.
It's interesting because I'm going down, and I'm looking at anyone besides Dean pop to you. It's not really the matter of them popping, because Ed had this moment now, and he had his moment when we were severely depleted, just like a couple other guys like Denzel Valentine, who when he was playing, he was popping as well. He was doing very well for us, but
he's talking about like our bench squad though. Like Windler got some minutes tonight.
Right.
RJ Nembhard got some minutes tonight. So
yeah,
I'm telling you, I think everybody on the team is, besides Jarrett Allen, you got a guard from 3 almost.
Yeah, I'm just not convinced that any of them outside of Dean Wade is like really, when everyone's healthy, when you have a full healthy Cavs squad, and you get 4 guys, because I don't know that you ever not have the floor filled with a starter, but the rotation they've got now is just the guys they got, the 4 first guys off the bench they got right now is just phenomenal. I just don't know that it's going to be easy for anyone to get a spot open.
Yeah, I mean, the 2-way contracts is nice in the NBA. I think that the NBA has some cool nuances that are interesting. Like you could have Windler playing in the G League. Same with Taco Fall. I don't think Taco Fall is active tonight, but you get development either way when we have our roster set up. But let's check it out here. We got 18 people in the chat. Appreciate you guys all for locking in, making sure that we let them know. Just going to throw a nice little self-plug out there. If you don't follow us on Twitter, at Pulse Cleveland. The Cleveland Pulse was taken. If you'd like some of these tweets like this, when I saw the COVID news today, make sure that I do all the tweeting, but I try to maintain sentiments that Justin holds. I won't go on an argument that Justin might oppose. So
Jeff's got our ads down below us right now. Jeff's pretty active. I see him. He's gotten, since we started the Cleveland Pulse, he's been very active in engaging with people on his own account and the ways that he does takes and everything. But he's kept the Pulse page to a very high standard, and I love it.
Yeah. But if there's something about Baker, I'll just start complaining about it on my page, because I know Justin, if I tweet something out, Justin's going to be like, oh, geez. It's tough when you have two, 3 people, who might be tweeting.
Right.
Fulham, KD going to look at Dean Wade and see Skip Bayless and drop 80 on our forehead.
Mike's got a point.
He's
hilarious on Twitter. I can't even lie. Guys.
He's so funny.
On a totally unrelated Cavs note, why are like the dudes I just should not like in the league, why are they just so good? Steph Curry breaking the 3-point record last night and so funny. Like that Warriors team, I want to dislike them so badly. And I do. Like at the end of the day, if we played the Warriors again in the finals, I'd be so hot. But it's just what do you guys think about, a little off topic, but will Steph's record ever be touched, or just because he has so much time left, he goes for 5,000?
I don't think so. I mean, he did it in 500 fewer games than Ray Allen.
So
500
good.
fewer.
That's nuts.
The guy, what is he, like 32, 33?
Changed the game.
Steph,
he's truly changed the game.
People get like triggered when they hear Steph Curry change the game, but how many, you look at the increase in 3-pointers a game by NBA teams in general, even just as far back as it's even like 2010, even like 2013, I would say there was a huge jump around 2016, 2017 when Curry hit 400 alone for himself. I mean, I really can't see another player getting anywhere close. I mean, obviously we don't know 10, 20 years from now what next great player is going to come into the league, but I mean, this seems like a record that's going to be untouched. I think even if someone somehow, some way did get to his record, I got to believe he's still the best shooter of all time. I've seen that guy make some just ridiculous, stupid shots that I was either punching the wall at or I had to tip my cap at. I mean, the guy is truly tremendous. And, in honor for Steph Curry, I give him some credit even here on the Cleveland Pulse podcast.
Guys, correct me if I'm wrong. I know I don't know if I was hallucinating or what was going on, but I swear there was something about, and it's because I follow a lot of Cavs stuff, a lot of Cavs people. There was something about Darius Garland and Steph Curry's 3-point like made shots around the same age or
Oh
something.
yes, yeah.
Really?
And I have no, I'm looking for it right now.
He has the same. I think I saw he has the same amount of makes, and Garland's like 21, and Curry was 23 at the time, or something like that. I mean, Steph also played a lot. What did he play? 4 years of college? How many years did Steph play in college?
Couple.
I have
He went
no
to
idea, but I
Davidson.
want
He
to
played.
find
Did
this
he play a couple? And
stat.
I think also Steph battled ankle injuries early in his career.
It took a while for Steph to come on.
Yeah, it did.
Because I was seeing people last night, like, because he did it at MSG and New York drafted it one after Golden State.
Right.
And I was like, Justin and I talk about that all the time, though. Like,
Right.
like it's the if game, so people always win because it's the if game, because
But-
it's the if game. But if New York would have drafted
Absolutely.
him, I just don't think so, man. He's
You don't
had
think he would have
so
exploded like he did?
no, he's had so many good teams where like he's 1A, but you're not overselling for him when Klay Thompson's standing out there on the wing. So
Right.
you know,
And then, I mean, Justin,
mess.
but back to your point to talk Cleveland, of course. But
Garland
yeah, I did see
behind.
that.
Sorry to interrupt. Logan.
Go.
Did you find it?
Garland, no, Robert coming through in the chat. Garland
Robert?
5 behind through 140 games.
That's okay. There you go. I mean, that's pretty impressive. And I honestly, I don't. Garland's a great shooter, but look, when I think of Garland, I don't think of like an absolute like, I guess, flamethrower from 3 like Steph is.
Mm.
I mean, he's definitely consistent with it, and this year's made a lot more than you could say his rookie year, obviously, and even his second year. So maybe he's finding a new game. Maybe he is going to start taking on more of that Steph Curry like offense. You know, we'll wait and see. But that's what's wild is that number that he brings up, Robert does. I mean, 5 behind in what was it? 100? What was that number?
Through 140 games. So what does that mean? So
Five
he's
threes
It
behind.
means he's on pace right now through the first
Yeah.
140 career games. He's only 5 behind Curry. But
Mhm.
like we said, Curry didn't really find, I think, his true identity tied to like 4 or 5 years in the league.
How many threes does he have this year? Like he's
When
probably
I-
not getting 400 a season.
my thing with
No,
my
I
thing with
don't do that.
Steph is 2 things that I feel like he's got over Garland for sure. And again, I don't know how long it took for him to just do these things consistently, but it's literally come off like the screen, catch the ball off of like a weird pick and screen where he gets it and he
Off-ball
shoots
screen.
immediately. He shoots it immediately and it just goes in.
Curls into it.
And that's like his signature for me. Like that's what I like. If I see that happen, I'm like, this is going in every
Right.
time. And then it's just from a couple of steps in front of the half court line where he's just letting it go and it's going in and he's shooting it from distance, which I think Garland has like, I'm not saying like Garland's Steph Curry and he's getting Steph Curry range or anything, but like, it's pretty impressive to see how Garland's 3-point shot has like come from like, because no one was saying Garland was going to be a good
No.
3-point shooter last year
They
or
said he had
coming out of
consistency.
college.
They said he had consistency, but I don't think anyone thought he was going to shoot as many as he does nowadays.
And he doesn't even, and to be fair, he doesn't even like shoot them like he needs, like we need them. That's
Right.
that's the biggest thing is I want to see him shoot those threes when we need them and make them. I think we've seen the inconsistency that you're talking about, Logan, against like good teams where he'll take more of those threes and not make them. I think as soon as he makes that jump to, making those consistently and being that aggressive, he can reach that level of, continuous all-star, back-to-back all-star.
Right.
And maybe even like, I don't know, there's not a, I don't think he'll ever be MVP, but he could be the MVP of this team for years to come.
Curry 186 through 140 games. Garland 181. And Garland, as Chicken Nugs does point out, was younger. I think that 2015 on, we've really seen Steph explode. I don't know if Garland has the 350, the 400 threes a season type of I just don't think he takes that many, but that is a good stat. That is something to monitor, especially when it comes to, him being extended. He is 1,000% going to be extended.
Yeah.
Even through, 30 games, I could tell you that much. But as far as Steph Curry changing the game, kind of bringing it back to the Rockets momentarily, I think the Cavs are trying to rechange the game.
Apparently, right.
The Houston Rockets 5 for 29 from 3 tonight. So
Ouch.
you have to
Ouch.
understand. I was texting in the chat, and I'm going to get to Sammy TV here real quick because they must have been joining late because we already gave Shangun. We've already gave him props. You know, we said he was a good player. We understand that Turkish basketball is a good league. We have a Turkish player on our team. So I don't know if you're joining late, but low level banter. You might be right in that, but it's fine. You can tell teams who the coaches don't watch the Cavs film. You can just tell who watches film and who doesn't watch film because we are one of the best 3-point defending teams in the league, not the Eastern Conference, not in our division, the league. So you come out and shoot 29 threes, you better be making 13 or 14, and you wouldn't even have been in this game. Even I don't think if you would have made eight or 10. So maybe I'm wrong, but the 3-point game don't work against us. Obviously, the elites have gotten the job done. Donovan Mitchell, Steph Curry, the one time we played Devin Booker had a good day against us. But what about the 3-point defense, Logan? Anything else to add there?
I mean, the thing is you have your length, right? And you don't just have the length when it comes to defending in the post. You have guys like Markkanen who have really surprised us moving his feet out on the perimeter. You have guys like Okoro who can lock down. I think Garland is a much more determined defender. And honestly, all the guys on this team are more determined defenders. Christ's sake, even Kevin Love's playing decent defense at moments. Rubio, at being at his age, is still moving his feet pretty well out in the perimeter. Just guys wanting to really, really commit themselves to the defensive side of the ball. Something we didn't see in the last couple of years from the Cavaliers. It's just all out effort, right? And then you combine the length with the speed they have out in the perimeter. It just makes things so difficult when, like we said, guys, you pretty much have to thrive in the mid-range against the Cavalier defense. You come in the paint, you're going to get blocked. You're out there on the perimeter, you're going to have a tough shot from 23-9. And the mid-range shot is the ugliest shot. It's the non-attractive shot in today's NBA, and only a few people can be so effective with it. And that's why you see teams at these low 3-point percentages because they're trying to chuck them up there because they know they got nothing else inside and they don't want to shoot that shot from 16.
Jimmy Williams, we're going to wrap it up here, guys. It's we're 30 minutes in. I know we got 15, 16 people in the chat, and we appreciate you all for being here, but really just not a whole.
Some of this for the Cavs Encapsulated.
Yeah,
we only are playing 3 games.
Gotta save something.
We got to save some of it, and there's really nothing to talk about in this game. But Jimmy Williams said it's about damn time. I think I missed that. We're back. True. I think
Jeff,
that being nice, being patient, but finally we're back.
Jeff, before you continue, I know you're reading the chat. I'm just going to make a suggestion. I don't know how you feel about this.
Okay.
Tom K asking a very good question that I don't necessarily want to answer in this, live stream. I feel like that would be a nice little take if we could answer that in the next episode of Cavs Encapsulated, since we are playing or going to talk about a fewer amount of games than we usually do.
Okay. That's a great idea. Would have never thought of that. Tom K, I just screenshotted that message, which I'm going to get to. Jimmy Williams, how long will Mobley be out? I believe it's day to day. Hoping he's good to go against the Bucks. But Tom K says, Kobe, how much credit is this team construction by design or opportunity or luck or JB? A lot of variables there, which is the reality of the case. I give him a ton of credits for trades and picks.
Very good question.
So that's our comment of the week for next Cavs Encapsulated.
Yep.
Tom K, we appreciate you. And that's how we're going to lead off the next show.
I like that.
Lem says Rockets are really bad. A Saturday game. That's a good way to round it out.
Saturday game.
They are really bad.
Logan, any send-offs, Logan?
I mean, yeah, you can't learn much from this game.
No,
that's for sure. I've said you can learn a lot in the losses or you can learn a lot in the close wins. This one was kind of a wash in a lot of ways. I will say it was really awesome seeing a guy like Mobley, who is so important to our success, not playing and from start to finish the Cavaliers take care of business. I'll say it again. At the end of the day, it's 5 grown men on one side, 5 grown men on the other side. And, they're all professionals. We had the talent. We definitely had that edge. But 40-point lead is hard to come by in any game. And the Cavaliers did just that minus Mobley. Overall, 5 straight wins, 18-12. I'm feeling pretty good. And hopefully, after this weekend, we're still looking pretty good overall.
Justin.
Can't say enough. I think this team is just, doing great things, and they just got to keep it rolling, especially against the better teams.
Man, it is nice to talk about a Cavs game being boring on the winning end. Finally.
Been a while.
I told Justin before we went live, I think if Mobley would have played, they might not have scored 75 points. So they're
Mhm.
lucky. We're lucky to have such a young core. This team is around for years to come. Knock on wood. I think the chemistry is there. I think the fandom is back.
Yeah.
It is a football town. If you know, it's a football town. I heard in that broadcast, John Michael talking to Austin Carr, 69 or 60 some points in March Madness record, no 3-point line. That's why people say, oh, they'll be tweeting at me, the Cavs have no history. The Cavs have a rich history. The people of Cleveland, the people of Northeast Ohio love the Cavs, loved them way before LeBron James. I could tell you that. Great teams in the 80s, great teams in the 90s, household names, left, right, Junas Ilgauskas, Andy Varejao, Austin Carr, Campy Russell. We got the new wave. Mark Price. We got the new wave. We
Brad
got
Daugherty.
Mobley's, Brad Daugherty. We got Jarrett Allen, and we got Darius Garland. So
Hell yeah.
we appreciate everybody being here. We're going to ramp up content. Logan's going to be maybe the odd one out, but if you want us to comment on our videos, come in the live streams and say, we want more of the Cavs Encapsulated. Me and Justin done with school here. Schedules get flexible. So if you guys want, every game would be tough, 100%.
Yeah.
But I think maybe even 3 times a week, one more video might be
I
doable.
can make it happen.
We're your Wednesday live stream. We're Cavs Encapsulated, the post-game pulse. Number 3, go Cavs.